wonderful morning? Well, my name is Veronica Valles, and I am deeply grateful to be a licensed practitioner and a Holmes Institute ministerial student. Junior year is going fabulously. Thank you. And so we're going to gather here together in the name of love and the transformative power of love today. So we're going to journey through that with each other, and I just invite you to keep your hearts wide open.
Hi, I'm Petra Weldis, Senior Minister of the Center for Spiritual Living in Dallas, and we're delighted that you found us here on the web. You can find our Sunday services on our website by every Wednesday, and we love that you can look at us online and explore these spiritual teachings. Feel free to explore our archives. It goes back a number of years with lots of special topics and amazing speakers. You can also sign up for our email news, My Daily Words, and my blog, Spiritual Living with Dr. Petra. If you're looking for a spiritual community, come visit us. Or if you're just in Dallas, drop on by. We'd love to give you a hug. Welcome home.
can't let you leave without a hug. Whew. Take a deep breath in with me, please. Can you feel that? She made me cry in the first service. She made me cry in the second service. And how beautiful and powerful to be here in the presence of God with my best friend singing that song on my mother's birthday, on the anniversary that Robin shared in the first service of her father's passing 15 years ago, with my honey in front of me, with my community. Wow. Because love is what we're here for. It's the month of February. We were talking about love all month long. We're journeying through the Mastery of Love, Don Miguel Ruiz's book, and of course we're moving through the Joyous Living Journal, Reverend Dr. Peter Wallace and Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen. And so I must begin with my favorite Sufi poet, Hafiz. It felt love. How did the rose know to open its heart and give to the world of all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we would all be too frightened. Blooming takes courage. Love takes courage. Being that remembrance and the knowingness of who we are, as we teach here at the Center for Spiritual Living, that each one of us is an expression of God. How many of us grew up with that notion? Didn't see any hands. But we were taught love in a certain way. We grew up with love in a certain way. We gained an understanding of love in a certain way from our childhood. But when we awaken to the truth that each one of us is an expression of the one, so perfectly, so powerfully, as and through us, authentically, magnificently, the heart opens wide. And what is this power of love? It's my mama's birthday. This is a woman, and I've shared this before, whose power of love will go through and carry on for generations to come. Because of how she raised us, how she takes care of her grandchildren, how they carry that message of love. It reverberates through every ounce of our beingness. It's a circle of love that we have created. That is transformative. The power of a mother whose child is sick, or a father in the middle of the night, and their prayer is one of deep healing for their baby. That love that carries them forth to see their child perfect, whole, and complete. Love of my friends in Los Angeles rallying around Judy, who's experiencing and having the condition of cancer, and they've come to support her in every way, not in the condition, but in the love and joy of who she is, and whatever is necessary for her well-being. Love. When we go out into the world, or all that we do here in the name of love and the glory of God, when we take our practices and our community service out in the world, what is that? Love. It is the impulsion of life. And love as a spiritual practice was yesterday's Joyce Living Journal. It talks about love as the heart of life itself. Love is the impulsion of life. Love is the decision that we make to act and behave in a positive way. Love is the decision to know one another. To take that time, not just in relationship with our beloved, but in relationship with our friends and relationships with our neighbors, to take that time to know, to care, to accept, to feel. It's powerful. And love is the most powerful force in the universe. Don Miguel Ruiz in The Mastery of Love says, life is nothing but a dream. And if we are artists, then we can create our life with love, and our dream becomes a masterpiece of art. He says that the real essence of who we are, just as we teach in Science of the Mind, is the divine substance. That is God, that is our very life. And when we awaken to that truth, the divinity of our beingness, then we will operate in that world from that place of love. Now, the great master teacher taught, be as little children. And Don Miguel Ruiz reminds us that if you watch 2 or 3-year-olds, they are so present in the moment. They have no sense of judgment. They're carefree. They remind us to smile with the daffodils and chase the butterflies and blow bubbles. They remind us to be innocent and pure and free. But something happens around 3 or 4 years of age. The patterns of our parents, the patterns of those we're around, the moment when it feels like someone is neglecting us or not accepting us, we start developing these emotional patterns of woundedness. These emotional patterns that then are so integrated in our being, they become the poison of our adulthood. At some point, we bought into these stories of less than, fear, separation. And Don Miguel Ruiz says that in that moment, that we are standing more in this place of love, we're going on this track of fear. Fear is that place that feels that we're separate. Fear is that place that feels we're not worthy. Fear is that place that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. Just add whatever thing you heard in your life. He goes, but that's not our divine substance. Our divine substance and our divine essence is this track of love. And when we operate from this space of love, the world heals. There is nothing that love cannot heal and relieve and reveal the truth of who we are. He talks about these two tracks. He goes, in love, there are no obligations in love. But in fear, it has obligations. It does things begrudgingly. In love, it has no expectations. Fear, it has expectations. I expect you to show up the way that I said so and to do it right now. That's not love. Love is based on respect. Fear doesn't respect anything, not even itself. Love is ruthless, and this one I love. Because the word ruthless, you thought, ruthless. Because love respects every choice you make, and love knows the truth of who you are. Love has compassion, because fear has pity. When you're in a place of pity, you're not recognizing the wholeness and the oneness of someone. So love is ruthless, and it has compassion. And love is completely responsible. It's not he did it, she did, oh, I didn't do it. That's fear. And fear also does not want to step into the responsibility of choice for whatever was ingrained in those emotional wounds and patterns. And love is always kind. Fear is not. I had a friend tell me a couple weeks ago that her husband, years ago, would say that you can't be mad when you're holding somebody's hand. You can't. Love is kind. But fear plays itself out in these dramatic, experiences in our life. And then what happens is it creates what Don Miguel Ruiz calls this place of hell. The dreams of hell. So imagine if you're in your emotional womb. There's gossip, anger, jealousy, sadness, fear, separation. You put all that energy together in a collective way on this planet, it is stronger than an atomic bomb. And the creativity of our mind created a weapon of mass destruction. But if you come from a place of love, and this place of mass expansion, and the truth of who we are, imagine the possibilities. Every great mystic talks about light and talks about love. That the heart has many secrets. And there's a spark within us that seeks to empty out everything unlike love. Because when we're in a frequency of fear, we're drowning in that whole doubt, when we are angry or unsure, it feels like this fire. Have you ever walked into a room and the tension is so thick? You felt it? Have you ever been in line at the grocery store and you're standing by someone and there's that edge of wow, it's so palpable that this person is angry, or it's so palpable that this person's in pain, that you can feel it. We, in our human experience, sometimes project the very thing that we fear. It is all a shift in our perception. What's so fascinating about this whole understanding of that we are energetic beings is that everywhere we go, we have a field, an electromagnetic field that is our very essence. So how do we take this frequency of fear, these dreams of hell, and transmute them with love? How do we get a place that love is so generous, that love is unconditional, that love must be experienced, and that love, indeed, in action, is a practice? We go from a place of understanding as opposed to a place of reacting. Understanding is this track of love. Reacting is this track of fear. When I'm reacting, I know there's this part of my brain, they call it the amygdala. It is triggered by our past experiences, And when it's on fire, some little thing can set it off. It's like that fire engine, woo, woo, it's going, it's like boom, boom. And it's literally this fire of fear that's expressing. How then do I get back to the track of love, to a place of understanding, to a place of deep wisdom, to a place of compassion? We all experience it. I may be in ministerial school, but I'm very clear to people I didn't sign up to be a saint. You know? We all experience it. We have our buttons that are pushed, but no one's pushing our buttons. There are buttons. There are triggers. They're not ours to keep. It's the emotional wounds and the emotional poison that were ingrained, but we can transmute it. Because when we get into that space of understanding, we resonate in our electrical field from love. Each one of us right now are emanating energy anywhere. I've heard 5 feet, I've heard up to 8 feet. Just by where you're sitting, look around. Here are the people that your energetic fields are mixing and mingling. They call it the social field. So imagine when you come in and issues are going on, and we all have them. We're here in spirit in this human realm, expressing and experiencing life. We're going through the emotional body, the emotional field. We all have this. But when you become conscious that my energy is bumping up against you, we become conscious that our energy, literally, can you imagine what Dallas is feeling right now after that song and us together, an absolute rhythmic dance of love? That it goes out into the world. We feel it because we are it. So Don Miguel Ruiz says that we have to empty ourselves in order to allow the love to pour forth. So this field of energy, indeed, is expression of who we are. Now, I have the great privilege and honor of going to Costa Rica. And I got trained to be peace. I would invite Rita Marie Johnson to stand up, please. Can you give a hand to this beautiful woman? Rita Marie Johnson has taken Caesar for Peace and Nonviolence into Costa Rica. Rita Marie Johnson's passion and love for peace created Be Peace. It's a synergistic skill of social and emotional intelligence, of coherence and connection. Now, someone asked me at the first service, what is coherence? Imagine walking into a clock shop, and all the clocks here are going. The strongest clock, with the strongest, it's called the pendulum effect. When you bring the strongest oscillator, literally all the other clocks align with it. So guess what our heart is? Our heart has a brain. Our heart emanates about 600 times energetic field I read. Our heart actually, when in coherence, oscillating in coherence, literally takes the brain, the amygdala, that part of our being that is in that fight, flight, fright mode, and when you are in coherence, it brings it into this rhythm where wisdom pours forth, where compassion leads the way. So the beauty of Be Peace, that it's the profound made practical. And the beauty of this practice is that we are wanting to take it into the schools in Dallas, into schools all over the country. We have people here. I'm going to shout out and point out to all the teachers, because we want to train teachers and then facilitators and those who can go out into our community, because we want to give our children these skills. We want to have these skills. The world will shift in a different way. Lydia Perry, a teacher willing to take these principles into schools. Let's get her trained. Eva Lola, you want to do it? Let's get her trained. Ocean Baby, we have these teachers who are willing to take this into the world. Imagine what the schools would be like if everybody was in coherence. They were taught the skills and the tools of coherence. Imagine how they grow up as adults. Imagine the energetic field when we are all in that rhythmic dance of peace and love. It is my vision, Rita Marie's vision that I caught fire of, and the vision of so many people to bring these practices into our community, into our soul, and it all begins with our heart. Oh, open the door, the poets always say. There's something that people fear. I'm a big hugger. I'm a big love bug. You guys know that, those who know me. It takes a heart wide open to hug. It takes a heart wide open to be vulnerable. It takes a heart wide open to accept all the unique ways that people show up. So with the Be Peace practice, you can literally move into coherence. Because when we are frustrated, the jagged lines, this is our heart rate variability. That is what's in between the pulse. And when we are in anger or frustration, in that track of fear, look at how frustration looks. Prickly. But when we can get into coherence, when we can get our heart into alignment, that then oscillates so the brain is in alignment, look at the feeling of appreciation. I call that the dance God crew. It's a rhythmic dance. It is palpable. Those of us in relationship, we're all in relationship. We're all in relationship with each other, but you can feel the difference. So imagine them being in partnership where each other knows that we got to pause. Let's get coherent. Because I have been that voice of anger, of being lonely, tired, hungry, all that, when I was not in a place of peace. And then I felt afterwards so guilty because I know better. Of course, I have a practitioner that's working with me on that guilt, but I know better. But it's so incongruent with who I am that in order for me to get whatever that, and I didn't grow up in a violent home, I didn't. But there's that part of my brain that when it gets tired or when I get hungry, it goes a mile a minute. And I have a partner that says, pause. Take a deep breath. Let's do some coherence. This practice, and being in Costa Rica, at the University for Peace, with all of these young adults and these adults from the external adults coming, because the vision of seeing and being and teaching and feeling peace is so profound, because it is palpable. Can we stand here recognizing the truth of who we are and truly and deeply say that, yes, I support peace? Because it's interesting when you go out into the business world and you say be peace, what's that? It's airy-fairy. It's, there's this concept of peace. But imagine the world. If we're in a frequency of fear and we don't know it, that energetic field that feels like an atomic bomb, imagine the world incoherent. We use our spiritual mind treatment, our affirmative prayer to align our truth. But let me tell you, my logical mind sometimes, when I'm kicking into that fear mode, pauses, goes into be peace, gets coherent, and I can move through a situation deeper. There's not one person here who is not experiencing something. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It's, whether it's you're looking for a new job, there's some issues in your partnership. I was in traffic yesterday, and boy, let me tell you, my hand was on my heart. Didn't be peace. It's like, oh, it's Saturday, I'm in traffic. Let me get coherent. But imagine the difference energetically. Because 6:35, I almost took a picture, was wall-to-wall red taillights. But imagine if we were all in the Be Peace world. This past week, I was driving to Hobby Lobby. I was picking up a frame for a Season for Peace and Nonviolence. And all of a sudden, there's this gentleman on his motorcycle, and he slams on his brakes. He goes flying in the air. His head hits. Blood flies everywhere because he didn't have a helmet, and he's in front of me 10 yards. I slam on the brakes. And I won't say what I said out loud first. I'm like, oh, slam on the brakes. And all of a sudden, I had to get in coherence. I had to be love, not fear. The person next to me stopped, the other person stopped, and all of a sudden, here's a group of us. We don't even know each other. But love was so present with this group to go in and support Curtis. This other woman, Brenda, comes. She goes, hey, I'm part of the biker community. I know these guys. She doesn't know this guy, but she knows these guys. Puts her scarf underneath his head as he is bleeding as the firefighters, and we're waiting for the ambulance. Chad, Audra and I are standing there. I'm praying with him. I go, I don't know what your spiritual practice is, but I gave him a universal prayer. We're keeping him coherent. I turn to the people around. I go, this, despite what we're seeing right now, you're here as a loving, beneficial presence. Healing is happening now. We had to get in coherence. Because if fear led the way, Curtis would have been in a place of fear. But what is that love? For someone that I don't know, I may never see again. The people that were with me, that we came together in love. Next time you're in a traffic jam, and I'm being serious, get in that place of love, because you don't know what might have happened. But it allows us to be that beneficial presence. So anyhow, let me go back to, did everybody get a card? All right, we're going to go through a coherence process. So I want you to take a situation or circumstance in your life right now that's a little prickly, that you're looking for clarity, you're looking for an answer. All right? All right, so I invite you just to get still. If you don't have a card, the readers are coming. And so while they're doing that, I just invite you just to put your hand on your heart and close your eyes and go within. Just allow yourself to have your hand on your heart. And I invite you to start breathing into your heart. Take deep, deep breaths into your heart. Breathing into your heart, just allow yourself to be in this deep stillness. Heart focus, heart breathing. I want you to think in your mind just some situation, anything that brings you a feeling of appreciation. Anything that allows you to smile from your heart. And just be in that feeling of appreciation. So as you continue breathing, your heart focused, heart breathing, you're feeling that appreciation in your heart, I want you to ask. Because the heart is the deep place of wisdom. I want you to ask, what do I need to know? What do I need to know in this situation? And allow that heart insight to reveal itself to you. And when it does, if you have a pen, if not, just remember you can write it afterwards. I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready and write down what is that heart insight that came to you. We just hold a space for those who revelations are still coming. Holding that coherence. Being a loving group. The heart knows. Divine wisdom expresses itself. Deep peace is not a spiritual practice. It's not a but it's a practice of true coherence. Getting into that place of peace and love. And imagine, as we get into coherence, the energetic field. Imagine that we're all rhythmically dancing in this place of love. The great master teacher said the kingdom of heaven is within. So I found this on Facebook. I'm going to leave you with this. It's a young lady, and she says, I have a strong conviction that the time has come for us to really step up and take charge of our lives. You no longer need to live in a world of disharmony, and our planet can pulse and vibrate with love coming from the biggest electromagnetic field of energy, our beautiful heart. It is 1,000 times more powerful than our brain, and it radiates with such power that you can supply the energy to the entire city. Yes, you can supply the energy of the entire city. If we can recognize and remember in those moments when fear is present, that your life is the divine essence, the divine substance, the very one that is made manifest, you can be that powerful love force in the world. If you can remember that everything that you see, everything that exists is God, that the fear that can be dissipated, the doubt that can be released, the love that is unleashed, is the way that we allow God to express as and through us. If we can take this practice of deep peace and integrate it within our life, or whatever practice works for you, that you can then be the voice of love, the eyes of joy, the heart of truth. Imagine what the world will be like. Imagine Lydia Perry in a school teaching deep peace with these children. Imagine their lives transformed. Imagine your energetic field as you go out into the world as love. You enter into the space place in the sacred knowingness that your life is a life of God. You become the mirror of possibility to everybody else. When we are kind, when we are loving, when we are present, when we are coherent, this is the way that consciousness reveals its truth in every moment as and through you. You're a powerful expression of love. And in the Joyous Living Journal, the transformative power of love is that it is the force of the universe, and love and giving are inseparable, just as the scent comes naturally from the rose. God loves to love. The mystic will tell you that you're love incarnate. Can you wake up in the morning and express that to yourself every day? I am love incarnate. Can you say it with me right now? I am love incarnate. Can you take a look to the person next to you and look them in the eyes and say, you are love incarnate? You are a little more energy. Can you look to the room and say, we are love incarnate? Get out of your comfort zone. Say it one more time. I am love incarnate. You are love incarnate. We are love incarnate. Don't look at me, look at somebody next to you. I am love incarnate. You are love incarnate. He, she is love incarnate. We are love incarnate. Even if it feels uncomfortable, practice daily till you really recognize the truth of your beingness. You are love made manifest. You are love incarnate. You are nothing less. You're the brilliance of the sun. You're the scent of the rose. You're the daffodil smiling. You are God. And can you just feel the love? When we look at each other with love, when we can embrace the truth of who we are. I have been, since a child, holding the vision of love. It's so simple. And when I fall into that trap of fear, I'm forgetting that I'm actually loved. And I'm hurting the person I love with my words and my projections and my fear. Can we just embrace the softness of each moment? And even when it feels prickly, get into coherence. And remember that we're loved. And someone may be having an experience that is in the track of fear. Can we be that for each other? Because I can promise you, the world will be a different place. Found this on Facebook. May your love move the sun, the stars, and the sea. Because when we harness that power of love, there's a famous quote, when we harness that power of love, it's like discovering fire again. And the Sufis will tell you that. It is the fire of love. So I invite you, just go get more information about BPs or find a practice that works for you, but I really invite you to, in the moment, embrace God with your heart wide open. Be vulnerable, be powerful, be passionate, be peace, be love, be joy. You are so brilliantly and boldly beautiful. Be it. Because when you stand in that place, the world shines lighter and brighter. Let us dance in that rhythmic dance. Let us be that energetic field of joy and love. And when we have our challenges, may we be that for each other. To uplift, to uphold, to know. Because love leads the way. So take this practice into your heart. And I just invite you just to be with it. And be with the answer that was given to you today. From your heart. So I invite you to go within. Then we just recognize and remember we stand in this place, this sacred, holy ground. The power of the presence that is God, so fully formed, expressing as and through each one of us. How beautiful to know and to recognize that we are spirit incarnate, love incarnate. Every single aspect of our beingness is a divine matrix of perfection and wholeness. To know that indeed that as we come together in this God groove of coherency and connection, and the realization of the one power and presence, and the magnificence of each one of us, that despite the fear and the pain or the emotional wounds of the past, what is present right now in this love. It is pulsating as and through us. It is the divine beingness of our every thought, word, and action. It leads the way. It is who we are. So as we recognize the transformative power of love, that love is a spiritual practice, that we become masters of love, taking it out into the world for the highest good and the deepest truth of all. And as we walk through these doors and go dance through the streets, and as we live our lives to the fullest, we recognize that we are in the playing field of the infinite, and our choices are led by love. So that we remember this truth always. It is one power God, it is one love God, it is one truth God, it is our very life God, and I know this with every ounce of my beingness. So open your heart. Live from the deepest place of love. Allow your light to shine, and like the rose, allow yourself to bloom so brilliantly, so powerfully, so beautifully. So that knowing this, I call this time together such a blessing. Knowing that the circle of love has ignited that fire of the one that is our life. And calling it so very beautiful, I call this time just a blessing. Knowing that this prayer is released in the divine activity of the law, I call it good, I call it fabulous.